is. So John, Swati, Satya, please go ahead and share your screen.
Yeah.
Stage is yours.
Yeah, I'll start, Babar. I'll share my screen now.
Yeah, Bob, Swati and Jahnavi, they will review their test cases. All right. Thank you.
Are you all able to see my screen? Okay. Yeah, and here is a user story 610545 wire FEP security quest batch database change. And the first test case is two new columns created and uploaded LDAP club at the datamart employee table. So here I verify that dump user role column is created and verify it is populated with the user racker from the LDAP table.
It's not user backup, it's it's AD groups.
Oh, AD groups. Okay.
User AD groups.
Yeah. Okay, and verify that dump FEP active indicator column is created and the values Y or N are populated based on LDAP data. Y if user has access to FEP entitlement, and N if user does not have access to FEP entitlement. And the second test case is
Jana, 1 second. There's the whatever she changed that Swapna that we need to change it the user story also.
They already changed the user story, Satya, so that was the reason I changed this first test case. They updated the acceptance criteria.
Yeah, there's the data entitlements, right?
With these column names.
Yeah, column names. That's with the user hack of ID from the LDAP tool, right? That's what Swapna mentioned, that we need to change data entitlements, right?
Yeah.
I think that part we need to change it in user story acceptance criteria.
Yeah, in the clock table, we will store the AD groups for that user. All the AD groups associated, with for that user. And in the other column, we'll store yes or no based on the AD groups.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. And the second test case, daily badge job created to load LDAP club. Verify that a new daily badge job has been created to load the LDAP club to the new attribute on the datamart employee table. And test case 3, FEP access indicator is correctly set to Y or N. Verify that initial run that all employees retrieved have a FEP entitlements set to Y or N. Defaulted to N. Verify that FEP access indicator is correctly set to Y if FEP entitlement on LDAP is approved for read or write or both based on the FEP access data in the club retrieved from LDAP. And here we verify that FEP access indicator is correctly set to N if there is no FEP entitlements on LDAP based upon the FEP access data in the club retrieved from LDAP. And the fourth test case is new attribute created on the PFT case table. So here we verify that it's been created in the PFT case table to designate that case is FEP case. And the fifth test case is FEP case indicator is set to Y for FEP LOB. So here we verify that FEP case indicator is set to Y when LOB FEP for all case types, entry exception, health claim, and tracking and inquiry case.
So here when we set the indicator to Y, right, for FEP, you have to validate both existing data, archive data, and also newly coming health claims or tracking cases or entry exception. Okay. So you have to validate 3, like existing Quest database FEP claims. You have to validate whether the indicator was set to Y or N based on the line of business. Okay. And archive data also you have to validate, and also any newly coming cases, any type of cases, you have to validate the indicator was set correctly.
Okay. So the sixth test case is FEP case indicator is set to Y when LOB is null. Verify that FEP case indicator is set to Y when LOB is null, but claim number starts with F or subscriber ID is 8 R plus 8 digits for all the case types.
This scenario is applicable only for entry exceptions because for uh, held claims upstream systems, we are retrieving line of business from upstream systems. So we don't need to check in Quest specifically if the claim number starts with F or subscriber ID is R plus 8 digits. For health claim cases, we are retrieving from Diamond professional claim header and institutional claim header table. So based on line of business, we will set the indicator to Y. And tracking cases, tracking cases also. 1 second, let me ping the list of all tracking cases. Actually, I could. So I just ping in the chat, what and all tracking case, FEP line of business tracking cases we need to test. So all these claim failure, variance, business error, care event, HP tracking case, adjustment failure, all these tracking cases we are retrieving from Diamond directly, but only in variance scenario only. If claim number starts with F, and line of business is not populated, we have to consider those as FEP claims, because for variance cases, sometimes if the claim is archived in Diamond, we can still get the request for cache. What is that variance? For PeopleSoft. So only in variance tracking cases, if the claim is archived in Diamond, we will check if the claim number starts with F, then we will set the line of business, this indicator to Y.
Okay.
In all the other scenarios, we'll just check the line of business only. We don't check R plus 8 digits.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll update
Same
this.
with entry exceptions also. Because for entry exceptions also, upstream system is setting the line of business for FEP. So we don't need to again check R plus 8 digits.
Okay.
Yeah, but Swapna, in test case 6, if line of business is null, then we'll check with the
That line of business is null will happen only in variance.
Only
Okay,
variance.
only
It's not
variance.
possible for entry exceptions.
No.
It won't applicable further.
No.
Okay.
Oh, okay. Here we need to test only the tracking cases, variance only.
Yeah.
And
but
the previous
the list of the tracking cases I gave, right? You need to test, because from all the different sources we are getting different tracking cases. FEP, I modified all those places to set the indicator to Y. So you need to check in all those scenarios whether indicator is populated correctly or not. I think claim failure you can submit through through the tool, right? What is the tool?
The test datagram.
Yeah, test datagram. And care event, I think anyway you are testing for other ticket, right? Krishna's ticket. You can use that. Even timeliness tracking cases also. Timeliness. I don't know. We have to see. If, claim stage tracking cases, it is easy. We can get those.
FS, right?
Yeah.
FS.
And anything variance or HP tracking cases, right? You need to give me the claim number, Diamond claim number, some archived and some active for variance. And HPA, give me the archived cases. I will run through the stub and create the cases. Then you can validate, the indicator, FEP indicator is populated correctly or not. You can give some with FEP and some with non-FEP.
Okay. Yeah, for these all the tracking case types testing, do we need to add the separate test cases or one test case we
Actually,
can add all of?
I would say prepare the data first, get the held claims tracking cases, entry exception and inquiries, then do the testing for all the user stories. That will be easy actually.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, first to get all the different type of tracking cases, health claims and entry exceptions, or whatever scenarios you have, like, get the data first. And once after you get all type of different type of case, I mean tracking cases data, then you can do the testing. That will be easy one, like, instead of having each scenario for each type, with and without also, right? You have to test with one user. I mean, maybe you have, FEP access and Swati doesn't have FEP access, or, whoever comes up with, like, you have to test both ways, right? So I would say, like, to set up the data first, then create the data first for all types of tracking cases, and then, execute these scenarios. That will be easy.
For the validations also, for the each type of case, we need for the tracking cases one test case, and the entry exceptions one test case.
No.
Do we need like that, or any all of
No,
them
because
included?
these FEP indicator we are not displaying on the UI. So you can, the only validation you can show is on the database.
Yes, only backend. Yes.
Yeah, so you can query. I mean, once you have all the data created, then you can have the query with all the cases, and take that screenshot and show the FEP indicator.
Okay, we'll do that's only for this one, the line of business is null. And the previous test case, the test case 5, we'll check that the Jahne will check the existing cases, and she will drop the few one or two entry exception, one entry exceptions, or the claim case, tracking case, IR new cases also she will validate that.
Yeah, because I'm running the conversion script for existing cases and archived cases to populate the FEP indicator for existing cases and archived cases, and also all the newly coming cases also I'm setting the FEP indicator to Y. So you have to test both. I mean, you have to validate both newly coming cases and the existing data also. You have to validate.
Yeah, that should. Yeah, that will validate it. And the archived cases, that's a test case 7.
Historical and archive cases.
Case. Yeah.
Yeah. So here we verify that the FEP indicator is set on all historical cases and archive cases. Yeah. And
real quick, for the test case number 6, that only needed to be for variance cases, right? Okay, so I'm gonna update the user story, where it says validate that FEP when line of but the claim starts with those. I have all case types. I'm going to.
I have seen, like, I think we shouldn't go with claim starts with F, because I have seen some claims with, claim number starting with FHCP followed by some, numbers. So that's not FEP claim.
Okay.
Yeah.
So should we look for the 8 plus 8 digits on the variance cases where the line of business is null?
No, like in the variance, archived variance case scenario, we don't have the subscriber ID also. So I would say, like, F plus, F followed by numerics.
Okay, I'm sorry, Swapna. So this is only for variance cases. Variance tracking cases.
Archived variance case. I mean, archived diamond claims. Variance cases.
What about new variance cases?
New variance cases will have, because if a new variant, if a new variance case request comes, if the claim is in active diamond database, we will get the line of business directly from the DORIS schema. So there is no issue. We can look only at the line of business. And based on line of business, we will set the indicator to Y. The only issue is if the diamond claim is archived, but we still get the variance request from PeopleSoft for a claim that is archived in diamond. That's when we are not setting the line of business to FEP correctly.
So it's a variance tracking case
for an archived diamond claim
is archived in diamond.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to change that to say validate that when the when line of business is null for
Okay, it's a FEP claim.
For a variance tracking case where claim is archived in Diamond. I've got to rearrange this. The claim number starts with F. We're not going to look at the subscriber for R equals 8 then.
Yeah.
We're
because
only
we
going
don't know the subscriber ID for
because
the
we
claim.
do not know. Okay. Okay, so validate that the FEP case indicator is set to Y when line of business is null, but the claim number starts with F. For variance tracking cases where the claim is archived in Diamond. Okay. All right. And then for the validate that the FEP case indicator set to Y when LOB equals FEP for all case types, that's still correct for EEHC. Okay. Inquiry
and other variance types, other tracking types.
Okay. So do you just want me to put the list of tracking types after TK?
Yeah, you can put that because I just queried actually. These are the only tracking types where FEP is applicable.
Is there a need to test all of those tracking types?
That's what, yes.
Okay.
I mean, maybe we can get one case for each type. I think some of them we might be already getting actually. We just need to validate in our test A, right? Test A database.
Okay. Is variance the VR?
Yeah.
Okay, then I can take variance off the list here. All right, so on the thing, the validate the FEP case indicator is set to Y when line of business equals FEP for all case types, and then we have EE, HC, TK with that entire list of TK types, and then inquiry.
Yep.
Okay, is that just IQ? What is inquiry? INQ?
IN.
Okay. All right. Okay. All right, so I have updated the user story to state that. Okay. Sorry. Okay. So validate that the FEP is indicator. All right, so on the test case 6, let me put in what the exact thing is on the user story now. Copy. I'm going to paste it into the chat. I think this is what you'll need for number 6. Okay. Because that should be the only one that we get a line of business null.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because we actually search in active database, and if it is not found, we don't set the line of business. Because the claim is archived, and archived Diamond claim we'll get only for variance.
Okay. Test case 6 needs to be updated to say that, correct?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay, and test case 8. FEP case indicator is set to Y when data changed on an entry exception case. So here we verify that FEP indicator is set to Y upon case save when data is changed with FEP member info on an entry exception case that causes the case to now be a FEP case.
This one actually we are not doing that, right, Alison? I don't see any scenario where non-FEP claim where it was converting to FEP in Quest. I don't see any such scenario where we update member number to say we get a Q claim and the line of business is some IBO. if we change the member number on that Q claim, we are not changing the line of business to FEP. We are not validating that anywhere.
Yeah, when we update and if we resubmit that, it will come back with the EAP error with the line of business.
With the line of business.
Line of business FEP. That's in that case, when we change the member, it will change it to the FEP case, right? That's what we need to try to test here. Patrick mentioned the
we
requirement.
have to test that because I haven't done any changes here in this scenario. Do we know if any? I mean, is there a way we can find it in production? Any claim? Where, I don't know.
In production, last time when we spoke with business, reviewed the requirements with the business, Alex mentioned that usually in real time, if they will get any the Q claims with the R members, FEP members, they will close the case and they will key the claim manually. That's the scenario will happen. But here we are checking that when we update the member and resubmit again, the case will come back with the EAP error 789 or something.
879.
But who is changing the line of business? When we resubmit, who is changing the line of business?
I think that's maybe the claim service. We are resubmitting, right? Resubmit and the claim service will reject that, right? Diamond or the claim service reject and the case will come back to the quest.
But case will come back, but if they change the line of business, right? When the case comes back second time, we are not changing the line of business in quest. We don't update line of business. I mean, first time if it comes with non-FEP and the second time if it comes with FEP, we are not changing the line of business. We are not updating line of business anywhere in the code.
We are not updated, but I thought that when we resubmitted the claim, we update the member information and we'll resubmit, right? Maybe again the validations will happen, right? Claim service, what the time and validations, maybe they will set.
If they set it, right? If they set it and second time comes back with some different error, in quest there is no current process to update line of business.
When the case come back, maybe they will update, right? They will line up business. They will set it up and come back.
I have not seen such scenario so far.
Okay.
We are not updating line of business. But currently we are not updating line of business. Whatever first comes, because claim number, event ID, line of business, we are not changing.
Oh, so second time also they will
only whatever claim number or event ID first time comes, we'll set it, and second time if any of these values changes, we don't change the line of business. I mean, same way how we are not changing the claim number, first time whatever is set is there for
Okay, so
throughout the process.
Okay, so just so I understand. Is Diamond possibly sending us a new line of business back with
that I don't know.
Okay, and if they are, do we need to update the line of business if they're sending us a new line of business back? I understand you're saying that we don't, but I'm asking if we should, if that's what's coming in. And I don't know the answer to that, but it seems like to me
is this issue, is this scenario ever possible in production? Maybe we need to check like where member number was changed.
Yeah, I can go look for it. I know it's happened at least once because we've had to move, and I forget if maybe that was in workflow or something, but we've had to move the claim out because it couldn't be worked now because it had changed. But I don't know how that ended up getting set. And I don't even remember when that was, Swapna. This has been like a year or so ago when they were like, oh, well, we changed it to this and now it's no longer that setting and they can't work on it. So and I want to say it was in workflow. So something is happening. I just don't know where, but what would we need to look for on the database? Would we actually need to look for
exception history?
Yeah.
Where, player number was changed to R number, and we need to compare the XMLs received first and the second time, whether, line of business was updated.
Yeah, and we would actually need to see the XML for that, right?
Yeah.
So we would have to have one that's recent within like the last 12 months that's happened to, because otherwise it's probably falling off.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and these are the test cases I added.
Okay, for now, we'll keep these test cases. We'll try to test it based on that. If we are not able to test it, we'll mark it any or we'll delete these test cases.
All right, we'll find out, and if it doesn't need to be tested, we can just take it off.
Yeah. And one more question, Swapna. Do I get the access for LDAP table?
Data mart employee?
No, for the LDAP table. How can I validate that from LDAP table the data is being loaded correctly to data mart employee table?
I don't know if we can get LDAP access.
Okay.
Yeah, that one we check the few users. We can check that in Windows PowerShell.
Oh,
if we know that person's rank of ID, randomly we can check, but we cannot check all of them.
Yeah.
But there is other way. That's the way I know that, but I'm not sure. What's the schema for the data entitlements? The data LDAP tables, the same schema, or is there any different schema for the LDAP tables?
I don't know. I don't know where this LDAP resides, schema and all. I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah.
Then how will you get the data?
The source data.
We are reading LDAP and getting the entitlements.
Entitlements. Okay, that's through front end or?
No, it's a batch job, right?
Mm-hmm.
Through the batch job, we are reading LDAP and getting the entitlements for the track of and storing it in a data mart employee.
Okay.
But I don't know, what LDAP, database or where it is. I don't know that.
Okay. Yeah, we'll check the users rack of IDs randomly in Windows PowerShell with rack of ID. Then we'll check that person has the FEP entitlements or not.
Yeah. So can I move to the other user story?
Yeah. Any questions on this user story? Do we we don't need to add any additional test cases, right?
I don't think so. I think it looks good. Just may need to update the one based on the updates I just did to the user story. So.
Yeah.
Okay, test case 6. That one is test case 6, right? Yep.
Yep.